Hello everyone, welcome to the Red Men TV. Liverpool's team news is out. Liverpool versus Watford, kicking off at Vicarage Road very, very shortly. But this is the team that the mighty Reds will be putting out. And whisper it, I think Chris got his starting 11 prediction right. I think he did. If everyone could tweet him at Mr. Blood Red, MR Blood Red, one word, and just say, you did it, you lucky bastard. Everyone can just do that right now. I'll wait. Chris is going to be sampling fine LFC cuisine today. He was given a couple of tickets to that screening thing at Anfield. He's going to be there, so he's going to be interviewing people down there who couldn't get tickets, unfortunately. But Tom and I are in the studio. Chris is out in the field, and we'll be doing the whole raft of post-match content, as you'd expect, later on. But now, Simon Mignolet in goal, Trent Alexander-Arnold right back, partnered in the middle are Matip and Lovren, Moreno left back. Woo! Which I would point out that I correctly predicted on the build-up show this week. Everyone thought I was mad, but it all pointed towards it. Now, midfield three then of Jordan Henderson, Gini Wijnaldum and Emre Can. And then the most potent front three potentially in the Premier League today. We'll find out. Salah, Firmino and Mane, which means the bench, which you might just about be able to see there. Loris Karius, Ragnar Klavan, James Milner, Joe Gomez, Marco Grujic, Dom Solanke and Divock Origi. Let me know your thoughts on this. For me, the thing that's the major concern, and I say major concern comparatively speaking, is the midfield. There's nothing wrong with that midfield. Very combative, very strong, loads of energy, and you've got a good range of passing. And I think that, there are actually goals there. But what we saw from the back end of last season is this midfield's nowhere near as dynamic as a midfield that's got an Adam Lallana in, or as we saw in pre-season, one that's got a Phil Coutinho in. Now, there will be a video on Phil Coutinho going up tomorrow after we've gotten through the match. So we want our thoughts and opinions on that. That's there, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, and therefore off the bench, you talk about Marco Grujic is the obvious backup to these things. I like Grujic, and I think he's potentially a special talent. He's a big lad. He's got a great eye for goal, but I don't think he's the one who's going to be capable of doing a Lallana-esque job and linking the midfield. Now, here's the thing. Who could have done that job? Now, the only one that you maybe could argue was a Ben Woodburn, but at 17 years old, very positive pre-season. I'd like to see us protect him and use him as wisely as possible because we want this guy to have a long career. And again, it calls back to the Liverpool's transfer needs, is that I think we're short another really good attacking midfield player to come into this. Now, obviously, people talking about Marco Asensio, etc. I don't see how realistic that is to happen, if I'm perfectly honest. But regardless of what happens with Phil Coutinho, I still think we need to target someone else who can do this job, even if it's another 18, 19-year-old, but one whose skills are predominantly first touch, turn and skill. I think Grujic has defo got something. I'm just not sure. I think you need one of these guys to be. I think Grujic could play like the box-to-box thing a bit more. But I want somebody who's a bit silkier maybe to play in those positions. But let us know what you think that is. I'm going to get to some of your comments right now then. I'm Rick Singh says Watford are fucked. Now, I'm interested to know what you thought, whether you think that's a good enough team to put Watford under pressure. Bear in mind that they've not had a particularly sweet pre-season, although bear in mind that Marco Silva is a good manager and he got the better of us at Hull last season. You'd like to think that at the very least, these three guys here should be more than enough to go. These three guys can cause the best teams in the world problems, I think. Hopefully, definitely cause some Watford. Richard Brown says, why not Robertson? Maybe it's just a case of he's just not quite ready yet. Maybe, if I don't see why we didn't get him in any sooner than we did, to be honest. But maybe it's just one of those things where it's down to maybe Moreno's just impressed more. Maybe he has. Maybe he just thinks he's more integrated, he's more settled, and he'd rather have someone who's been there and done it and get it. Look, whether Moreno, we can look at Moreno, and he didn't start very, very Premier League games at all. I think it was only a couple at best. But he was there, he was training with the team for the full year, so, he does understand the system. It is a bit strange, if I'm perfectly honest, but I do think, if nothing else, maybe it's a Milner thing, or maybe it's just due to the midfield situation where, I've talked about Grealish being that option. Maybe Milner's the backup option, maybe Milner's the next sub in this, because, look, again, there's a guy who maybe does it a bit better. he was a winger for the longest of times, and I know we've kind of gotten used to him at left back, and I don't think he's a sitting mid, but I think Milner maybe could be that. I don't know. Maybe that's why we're keeping that off as an option. Who knows? And yeah, Graham Lane saying the same thing. Robertson's just not familiar enough with our defence yet. It could just be that. Corin Richards says Andre Gray on the bench for them is good. It's good. He is good. Him being on the bench, maybe not good. I'd rather him just not be involved, if I'm perfectly honest, because he's pacey, he's strong, and he does have a record of scoring against us. I would see that as a concern for them with 20 minutes to go. If things are getting a little bit stretched or whatever, and we've maybe decided that we're in the lead and we're looking to hold on, that's a play that we definitely need to keep an eye out for, absolutely. True Paddy Boy, best front three in world football. Go ahead. I'll have that. Tom, have you seen anything of interest?
I have, yeah. So I got Callum Gilbert says, all this team tells me is that our squad depth is terrible. And Will Howell saying, thoughts on the bench, is it any better than last season? Yeah,
okay, the thoughts on the... So I kind of disagree with the squad depth thing, if I'm perfectly honest. If only that... Now, it is the tough thing. If you've got... Let's say Coutinho is injured, for the sake of argument. So Lallana and Coutinho are injured. If they're both fit, you go out and buy £50 million worth of player. I think it's tough. I agree. I think we need what, as I said earlier, we need one more player who's a top quality to play in one of these two positions, whose natural game is that position as opposed to us. I think Emre Can's a bit more box to box. I think Wijnaldum's more box to box. I don't think they do their really dangerous work in the lines here, which is where Coutinho and Lallana absolutely come to life. So I agree with that. And the bench, the reason why I don't think I'm nervous about the bench, and I appreciate the nervousness about the bench, is Dom Solanke and Marco Grujic, because we've got three game changers on the bench. That's what they should be, those three guys. Divock Origi hasn't really lived up to it in the last 12 months or so. Dom Solanke is a new player, so we don't know whether he's going to be carrying his pre-season form into a senior role. And exactly the same for Marco Grujic as well. But right here, right now, the beauty is both these two lads have had, in Grujic and Solanke, have had very, very good pre-seasons. And theoretically, you should be able to carry that confidence into this game. And I would be not confident, but I think it's possible. So whereas it would be nicer in an ideal world, you'd maybe have Gini on the bench or Emre Can on the bench or one of Mane or Salah on the bench, and you'd be just rubbing your hands with glee, probably over your cock, and saying, well, wow, we've got an amazing team out there and we've got amazing options on the bench. But yeah, at the minute, with a couple of injuries to these positions, it does look a little bit light.
So we've got two super chats.
Ooh, super chats, hello.
Andre Rossville, do you think the team is not 100% focused because of Coutinho?
I think a lot's put on these kind of things, if I'm perfectly honest. I think we put a lot of ourselves into these situations. I saw someone the other day suggesting that, like, someone's looking at, like, Coutinho's looked at Klopp saying Milner and Moreno are like new signings, and he'd be dead wound up by that. That's someone putting themselves into that situation, because ultimately Phil Coutinho really likes both those lads. So I just don't think, honestly, I just don't think it's an issue. We'll see. Ultimately, this game, no matter how this game goes, we will still be talking about Phil Coutinho at full time, and that's really annoying. Hopefully Liverpool are just so good that it kind of makes the conversation a little bit less valid. But it will definitely be a thing, but I just don't see it being a big thing, if I'm perfectly honest. So thank you, Andre Rossville, for that. And what's the other one?
Baba Fettuccine.
Fettuccine.
Same thing. Up the Reds, finally glad for some footy. Transfer bollocks is getting real old.
Completely agree, Bob, and that might even be the comment of the day for that, because this is the beauty of it. This is what we're here for. On Chatman and FIFA and Pro Evo, the most exciting part of the game is the summer, but in real life, the most exciting part is the footy. And I know this is the part where all your hopes and dreams have to be tested. You test them against the real world. This is the acid test. But, you can't win football games that you don't play. And you can't have glory if you don't win those games as well. Like, so Liverpool season kicking off. What an amazing week of football we've got lined up here. Watford now, the early kick-off on a Saturday. Fingers crossed we get to win that and put our feet up and enjoy the rest of the weekend's football. Then the Champions League qualifying game. Hoffenheim back in European competition for the game that matters on a Tuesday, my God. And then going to Crystal Palace at home, back at Anfield for a brand new season, getting to see all the upgrades that have happened to the stadium while we've been away, and getting to see those wonderful lads of ours, hopefully in the sunshine from our own seats. It's going to be absolutely amazing. That's what we're here for. This is why we support the team. Yes, there's issues. Yes, the transfer situation's not ideal, but you know what? The beauty is we just park it. None of us will be thinking about the transfer situation when Liverpool are putting in a magnificent performance at Vicarage Road today. So yeah, enjoy the game, everyone. Thanks very much. Leave your thoughts. Keep them coming in on the team in the comments below. Subscribe to the Red Men TV for more stuff. We'll be back post-match. Chris is going to be outside Anfield with some Reds, hopefully. I'll be in the studio doing your Twitter reactions. I'll be live with the match reaction. So stay tuned to the YouTube channel immediately following the match and we'll be there. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Enjoy the game. Ta-ra.